Hey all, and welcome back. Today we're going to check out a obscure, long-forgotten Diaclone-inspired figure set from Vecma Studios. Now my understanding is this is actually a spin-off from Mecha Fan Toys, who has done many Diaclone knockoffs or rehashes. However, this seemed to be a legitimate attempt at making something that was high quality that could stand on its own next to the authentic Diaclone. Now you may notice that this two-figure set is 02 and 03. 01 was a large carrier system that is somewhat compatible, but it also could be a leg for a larger series. I'm unsure if this would have been compatible with a regular Diaclone set or if they had plans for something in the future. They also released a Moon, which was pretty interesting, but we're going to focus on these two, 02 and 03. Now the packaging itself is fairly well designed. You can see the Space 2039 logo, which is the series this is from, printed on a glossy coated packaging. And you can see some preview of what is going to be so special about this set. Each figure has its own variety of modes, and they're intended to combine together to create a whole variety of other modes. This takes the idea that we're used to in Diaclone, where you can change out compatible parts and upgrade and modify it to your liking, and I feel like it takes it a little bit further because you have a lot of smaller parts that can be utilized in this way. But let's go ahead and get out the packaging and see if it's worthy of our collection. And the first things we have out of the packaging are a couple of manuals, one for each, and then some decals. These are a little bit different than normal. These are made of metal, so these are etched parts that will go on here because, like Diaclone, they have magnetic feet. So by putting these on there, you give an opportunity for the pilot to stand on various places on there without falling off. Looking at the first manual here, we have just a bit about what the project is. Of course, I can't read it, but we can translate that if you want to freeze it. If you can read it, there's your chance. And then on the back, we have some of the configurations as well as placement for the metal stickers. For 03, we have similar idea. We have more metal stickers to place and where they go, some photos of what it looks like when it's applied, and then a little bit about the configurations. Let's go ahead and take a general overlook of how everything is packed in the packaging. As you can see, we have a large variety of parts, and I'm going to approach articulation a little bit differently because rather than articulating each individual mode, I'm going to show you how the parts articulate because you can create kind of whatever you want. Now, like I said, since this is a little bit different, it's more about the components, I'm going to go over each component and its articulation, and then we can talk about the combined modes. So first, we have our Diaclone pilot. We have a little astronaut-looking guy. We have a cool backpack, articulation at the shoulders, elbow, and then we have hip movement. Go out like so. Don't want to pull it too hard because I just pulled the knee a little bit. You can see the magnets on the feet. And then, of course, knee articulation. So, pretty simple, but all things considering, it does look pretty good. And just to show you what it looks like with a regular Diaclone pilot, you can see that it is the same scale. It's got a little bit more bulk to it, but that makes sense because it is a spacesuit. But it's pretty much in line. I feel like the quality goes pretty well, though this does have a little bit more of a plasticky feel where this one has some matte finish to it and, you know, more variety of color, but I still think they work pretty well together. We have this box here, opens like so. We have multiple hard points on here for hooking up things, as well as a handle. A thruster, which has a couple hard points on it. Nice painted detail. Another hard point there, as well as there. We have the first cockpit, and it opens like so. So you can fit the pilot inside. And this also has an opening, so it's like the pilot can look out. So that's pretty cool as well. I think it feels like it would open better like that. It's a little obstructed when you have that other part down. We have ball joints here where we'll attach, hard points there and there. We also have a hard point there. This has articulation like so on a hinge, and we have rotation. We also have a point here where we can put a ball joint that allows for adding some accessories. We have a little baggie of moon rocks. You know, no articulation, but it is an accessory so you can set up some displays. We have 2 of these arms here. We have a peg here with a ball joint, so we have some rotation there. We have a double joint here, so that you can have some articulation like so. And then we have a ball joint here, and then hinges at the claw. So that arm is pretty versatile. It's going to make for some cool configurations. We have a leg unit here with the ball joint connection. We have a double jointed knee, which actually allows for sort of a chicken walker mode. Then we have a hinge here with a ball joint at the base that will go towards the foot. We have a hard point here. And we also have 2 of these. So we have 2 of the arms, the legs, and feet. There's the port there for plugging the ball joint. And then we have some articulation here. So you could actually utilize this as a claw as well. We have 2 of these. They are kind of like gun units. You could say they're torches or however you want to use your imagination. They have a mushroom peg that allows for rotation. We have a hinge joint, and at the end of that, a ball joint, so that you can hook it on as arm or however you imagine. Then we have 2 of each of these. They are 3 versions of mushroom peg joints that would be utilized for arms. So this one has the mushroom peg here, and then we have a joint there and a hand with a hole that can hold something. On this one, we have the mushroom peg and a nicely painted drill bit. And then lastly, another mushroom peg and a claw that is articulated. So lots of nice options for those parts. And lastly, for O2 here, we have a couple more pieces that we have 2 of each. We have what looks like some landing gear, a little peg at the end, and then we have 2 ball joints on a shaft here that will allow you for extending some joints. And now we're on to O3, where we have another hand unit, hinge there, ball joint at the end, and no hard points except for where we can hold stuff in there. This one also has a multitude of pairs. We have another claw in a different color, and we have sort of a pistol in another color, all mushroom pegged, as well as another drill bit, all with a gray color plastic instead of white. And we have a pair of parts that we utilize in the torso, some nice paint on there, 1 hard point, 2 pegs on the inside for combining it, then another portion, 2 of these as well, 2 hard points so you can expand these out here if you like, and then we have 1 hard point on the inside and some slots there for combining it. Out of the last of the pairs for this set, we have a leg. And what's nice about this one is it's really nicely painted. But the main joint here for the ball joint, hard point, we have rotation at the ankle there, and then a ball joint on extension there. This piece is on a hinge, and we have hinge knee there, so lots of articulation. So the thing about this, I have actually tried to do this review a while ago, and unfortunately my set had come with 2 of the same leg, and so I scrapped the review. It took me a long time, since last year, trying to hunt down the rest of this, and I found a used one, and so this is the combined mode, which we'll go into more later. So now I have an extra leg. Now the decision will be whether I try to 3D print another leg, which is a lot of time and labor, or just sell the extra bits as is, and see if someone hopefully has the other missing leg, or other double leg, to complete their set. Now the last parts of this set are kind of mono. There's only 1 of each, but we do have 2 guns. They are different. They have connection points here, no hard points though. Some painting on there on the gray plastic. We have some nice white accents. We have what seems kind of like a rail gun. We have hard points on the sides, gray plastic, and some gold painted on the end. We have what seems to be sort of like a hatch door or bay, also some paint, and then we have the 2 pegs on the ends. And lastly, we have the cockpit unit. So we have this little thing up here that moves around, looks kind of like a little sight. So you can kind of imagine how you want that to be. Cockpit opens like so. We have a little seat in there that moves. This can fold up, this can fold down, fold that down, possibly. If I can get my fingers in there, I might have to use a tool. But this pops down, fold this back down. This folds up. I have a hard point down there. This has the same kind of shoulders, so we can add a ball joint here. We have hard point there. These fold back as well as rotate. Then we have the ball joints there. So this is got a lot of options. There are some pre-configured ideas on the box that we will go over, but also you are left to your imagination of other things you can do with this, as well as combining this with other Diaclone figures. So let's go ahead and check out all the different modes. Now that we've seen the combined modes of these two, let's go ahead and do some comparisons. Here we have the Mecha Fan Toys knockoff of the Diaclone minifigure. The quality is definitely a step up, and honestly, it is comparable to Diaclone. And here we have a figure from the Ryo Multi-Abyss line. And here's how they stack up against a tactical mover from Diaclone. And lastly, for the sake of a more common toy line, here we are with a modern Voyager Optimus Prime. And in case you're wondering, these are compatible with Diaclone and the Lost Planet figures. Not all parts are compatible, but they do share the same port size as well as some of the same ball joints. I really love the aesthetic of these. I think the hard edges are great. I think the use of color is great. The shapes, everything is really, really nice about this. It draws the space, but also sort of has some unique ideas going on here. And you know, the one on the right, it kind of has some Mech Warrior vibes to it. There is so much going for this set that it's a shame that it wasn't more popular. Now for some final thoughts. I really love this set. My only regret is that I waited so long to get it. I hem and hawed about it for the longest time while I saw it at Show Z and other stores. And when I finally did break down and get it, it was the end of the stock and I got one that was defective. Having two of the same leg will be my biggest gripe about this figure, but there's a few little small things. I do hope that someday I either run across the person with the other leg and we can do a swap, or I just sell those extra bits. Having now messed with this, I kind of wish I had two sets just so I could have all these different configurations, just because even though the plastic quality seems really good, I don't want to stress the joints too much taking these things apart, but I'm probably going to just because there's so many cool options. As for downsides, they're very minimal. I do feel like the ball joint in this is a little loose. That's something you can fix with shoe polish and or glue. Not a major one, and it's not terribly loose, but I do find that it's not going to hold things very well with this joint here and maybe even this joint here. Also, the connection that holds on these two side pieces is not the best design. It's a clever use of the arm joints to kind of expand the body set, but just be aware when handling, they're probably going to come off some. But having had these, I kind of want to get more of the space set. And I'd really like to pick up some Diaclones that are in all white like this, so I can kind of mix and match and expand this even further. But with all that said, let us know in the comments below if this is worthy of your collection, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.